Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, when you think of the Amazon rainforest, you probably picture a scale that is just absolutely mind-boggling, right? We're talking 5.5 million square kilometers stretching across South America. It's so unbelievably massive that it's actually larger than a lot of countries combined, and it's packed with thousands of different plant and animal species. But today, we're not just looking at a natural wonder. We are stepping into what is essentially an active archaeological crime scene, and we're going to investigate the lost civilization hidden right inside the Amazon.
Seriously, what if the world's wildest jungle is actually a graveyard for a massive, forgotten civilization? I mean, for centuries, we've stared at this incredibly dense green canopy and just assumed it was completely untamed nature. But modern research? It's completely shattering that idea. As we dive into the evidence today, we are going to peel back the layers of this jungle to uncover an ancient world that was quite literally right beneath our feet the whole time.
Section 1. The Untouched Wilderness Myth. Let's totally rethink everything we thought we knew about this seemingly invincible environment. So we've always kind of imagined the Amazon as this primordial, highly hostile wilderness, right? You know, a place crawling with lethal poison dart frogs where just a single drop of venom is game over. We picture rivers swarming with piranhas, stealthy jaguars that can crush a skull in one bite, and, honestly, the deadliest threat of the whole bunch, mosquitoes carrying malaria and dengue. We just assumed this extreme environment was way too dangerous and unyielding for any massive human societies to survive, let alone thrive. But beneath all those trees lies a pretty shocking reality. We are now uncovering ancient ruins, the remnants of massive lost populations, and an incredibly engineered landscape. The Amazon isn't just a natural ecosystem, it's actually a human-influenced one.
Section 2. Terra Preta, the first clue. Now, let's look at the very first piece of undeniable physical evidence.
Terra preta literally translates to black earth or black soil, and here's why this is a huge deal. Normally, the natural soil in the Amazon is, well, it's actually pretty terrible for traditional agriculture. The heavy daily rains just completely wash away all the crucial nutrients. This was actually the main reason scientists originally thought large civilizations couldn't possibly survive out here. But then, archaeologists started finding these massive patches of this incredibly dark, insanely fertile soil scattered all over the jungle. And here's the kicker. This soil isn't natural. It was engineered. And that changes everything. The carbon packed inside of it acts like a microscopic sponge, holding onto essential nutrients and thriving microbes that would otherwise just wash away in the rain. It is definitive proof that thousands of years ago, people didn't just barely survive in the Amazon, they understood nature at a deep, biochemical level and successfully manipulated it.
These ancient Amazonians didn't just magically stumble upon this super soil, they manufactured it. They used a really brilliant, deliberate recipe. They'd gather natural charcoal, add in animal bones, and mix the whole thing with organic waste. This created a soil so rich and fertile that, believe it or not, even today, thousands of years later, it is still vastly superior to the natural earth surrounding it. These people were absolute masters of agriculture. They effectively transformed a totally inhospitable, nutrient-poor jungle floor into the lush, green foundation for a thriving civilization.
Section 3. LiDAR reveals lost cities. This is where the modern technology comes in and absolutely blows the lid off this mystery.
Enter our ultimate archaeological X-ray vision, LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging. Basically, by flying over the dense canopy of the Amazon and firing literally millions of laser beams down toward the ground, researchers can finally map the hidden structures below. These lasers slip through the tiny gaps in the leaves and bounce back, creating this highly detailed 3D topographic map of the forest floor. For centuries, the dense trees kept the Amazon's secrets totally hidden from us. But LiDAR, it virtually strips away those trees, showing us exactly what lies buried beneath the dirt and roots.
And guys, when those lasers finally penetrated the canopy, they revealed something that scientists thought was impossible. They found massive geometric geoglyphs in Brazil and Bolivia. We're talking perfectly engineered, circular, and square structures that are so vast and precise, you can really only appreciate them from the sky. They found straight, elevated roads connecting different settlements over miles and miles of terrain. They found massive raised platforms and incredibly advanced water management systems. I mean, these aren't just random, temporary camps. This is complex, sustainable urban planning on a massive scale. All the evidence points to an Amazon that was once home to millions of people living in a vast, interconnected network of cities.
Section 4. The Great Vanishing. Okay, so if millions of people lived there and built all these incredible structures, where on earth did they go?
Well, for thousands of years before 1492, these advanced civilizations were thriving. They lived in near-perfect balance with the jungle, but then the arrival of European explorers introduced an invisible, apocalyptic killer. The local indigenous populations had absolutely zero immunity to foreign illnesses. Diseases like smallpox, measles, and the flu swept through the Amazon like wildfire, just completely decimating entire communities. Millions vanished in a fraction of the time it took them to build their society. And here's the really tragic part. Without those massive populations to constantly clear the brush and maintain the infrastructure, the forest just simply took over. Trees grew right over the roads, the earthworks were swallowed by dirt, and this sprawling civilization vanished into the dark beneath the canopy.
There's a quote that perfectly captures this. True civilization doesn't just mean building massive stone cities. It means living in such perfect balance with nature that your empire can eventually dissolve back into the forest. That completely shifts our understanding of what it actually means to be advanced, doesn't it? The whole reason we missed these Amazonian civilizations for so long is because they didn't build massive stone pyramids like the Maya or the Egyptians did. They built with earth and wood. They lived in such incredible harmony with their environment that when they tragically disappeared, their cities just naturally dissolved back into the ecosystem, hiding their existence for centuries.
Section 5. The Race Against Deforestation. And this is a literal race against time to stop the destruction of history. Because today, we are destroying thousands of hectares of the Amazon every single year. Unregulated cattle ranching, aggressive mining, new road construction, it's carving up the landscape at a truly horrifying scale. And we aren't just losing trees and biodiversity here. We are literally bulldozing an unread library of human history. Every single time a tractive forest is cleared by a tractor or set ablaze, we risk destroying the very archaeological clues we are only just beginning to uncover.
And the threat goes far beyond just losing history, as heartbreaking as that is. If deforestation continues past a certain threshold, the Amazon is going to reach a devastating tipping point. It will literally lose the ability to regenerate itself. That dense, moisture-rich rainforest we all know today will fundamentally transform into a dry savanna, and that would trigger massive global climate disruptions, permanently altering rainfall patterns across the hemisphere and driving global temperatures even higher.
So who's actually fighting for it? Today, the frontline protectors of this ancient legacy are the isolated indigenous tribes, some of whom are entirely uncontacted by the outside world, living out there in the jungle exactly as their ancestors did. They stand alongside scientific explorers and advocates, fighting for sustainable practices, and together they are up against the relentless, incredibly lucrative threats of expanding agriculture, unregulated mining, and mass deforestation. It is a modern-day war over the preservation of a vital, living ecosystem and the incredible hidden